Hey guys, it's Pemble here. It is rainy today. It's the rainiest day in years here in the San Francisco Bay Area. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working inside today. I have all the bits and pieces that I need to build the engine and the transmission, if you will, of the chain lift system. So I've got my electric motor, I've got my two pulleys, I've got a bunch of belts here, I've got sprockets galore, and a bunch of steel and screws and this and that. And so we're going to get started, and I'm going to see if I can put together sort of the transmission part of this, where we build the mechanism that will gear this 1,725 RPM motor down to about 36 RPM, which is what we need to move the coaster up the hill at the right speed, using the right amount of power and such. So let's get started. The first thing I have to do is build a frame that will hold the motor and the gears and the axles and the pulleys and all of that stuff. I've got this old rock tumbler that I've had for a long time, and my neighbor Chuck gave it to me, and it's given me a really great opportunity to figure out how this whole thing is going to go. But I need it to be a little bit stiffer, I need it to be a little bit longer, so this particular frame isn't going to work. So I'm going to tear this down, and I'm going to build another frame that'll be custom just for our purposes here. So that's what we're going to do next. We're going to build the frame. Because we want the frame to be super strong, we're going to make it out of steel, because steel is awesome. So here's the steel that I'm going to use. This is 3/4 by 1.5 inch square tube steel, and it's 16 gauge steel, so it's not super thick. The walls aren't super thick, but it's going to be plenty thick enough, and we're going to reinforce it with other stuff as we go. But that's what the frame is going to be made of, so we're going to get started with that right now. So these are the pieces that we're going to need. I'm going to build just a rectangular frame out of this, and then that we're going to bolt on to the bottom of the lift hill. So this is where we're going to start. I want to make sure this whole thing is square, because this is going to need to be one of the strongest pieces of the system, right? What you're looking at right now is the underside of the engine mount and what let's call the transmission for the lift motor, right? The motor is going to be mounted here, and then through gears and sprockets, and then the drive sprocket is going to end up right about here, and you'll see how that is going to unfold as we go. So I've got this thing clamped together. I know that all of my bits and pieces are square, and it's going to look really nice and be really strong, and so now let's weld. I'll tell you what, welding when it's cold is a lot more fun than welding when it's hot. Okay, so I think this is basically what our frame is going to look like. We'll tighten it up and grind it and make it nice and smooth, but the engine will go here, an axle will go here, an axle will go here, a sprocket will go there, and then that underneath the track is going to be what draws the chain, which was what powers the lift hill. So that's kind of cool, right? Meanwhile, back at the workbench, I am going to take this thing apart, just these couple of, look at how old this thing is. It uses single slotted screws. You don't see those much anymore, but I'm going to pop this motor off of here, and then we're going to start working on how to attach that to that. That'll be fun, right? Boom! Alright, look how crazy this thing was mounted. I don't even know what the heck, but it tumbled a lot of rocks for my neighbor Chuck and his family over the years, and so we're going to keep this in a place of honor. I'm going to find a way to use it somewhere. But in the meantime, this is going to be the new system, and the motor, if I did my measuring properly, is going to mount right here. Boom, right? So we got, these are 5 1/4 on center, and these are 5 1/4 on center. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run, I'm going to tap through this whole beam here and then run bolts all the way through and bolt the thing really tight. This one will go down here. All right. This one will go in the middle somewhere. And then this will go over here-ish, right? So that's kind of how the thing is going to end up looking. The next step is going to be to tighten up all of these welds and make sure that the frame is good and strong. Then attach the axles and the wheels, put on the belts, plug it in, and see if our sprocket turns. And that's what we're going to do next time, because it's a little bit late and I got to go to bed. Bye guys, we'll see you next time.